everybody! So my daughter and I have been consecutively sick for almost 4 weeks straight now, and so we're doing a pretty low-tech casual video today. Hope that's all right with you. She's also too sick for daycare today, so I have her sitting in her swing next to me right here. You might hear that in the background a little bit. Many of you have asked me how to properly balance being authentic while also placing highest priority on your clients' needs. And this is particularly relevant in the days of social media, where many of us therapists are on social media, myself included. So in this video, I offer a few tools to help you hold your clients' interests at the highest priority while also feeling like you can bring your full authentic self to your work. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. So my guess is that most of you received similar messaging during your training as I did, and that is to do everything in our power to present as a blank slate for our clients so that they can project their own assumptions onto us, and also to ensure that everything that we do is for our clients' needs rather than trying to meet our own needs. Now, I'm a little embarrassed to admit that early on, I was the goody two-shoes abider of this rule. I was that person in supervision group reminding my peers not to disclose anything to their clients, even minute details like whether they have a pet. I mean, yikes, I've really come a long way since then. Now, conventional wisdom has shifted quite a bit in the real world, and therapists are being much more open in how much of themselves they present into the world. I personally believe this shift is needed because our culture is shifting and people expect authenticity from us in order to build trust with us. Might have to finish this later. It's nap time, y'all. I'll be back. And we're back. My current school of thought is that therapists should tailor how much of themselves they share with the general public, such as their website or social media, based on their target demographics' needs, and how much they share in session based on their specific client's needs. So here are a few questions to help you determine how open to be, both publicly and in session with your clients. First, how comfortable are you with sharing about yourself? I would hate for you to answer all the other questions here and then feel like you somehow have to present more of yourself to the world than you personally feel comfortable doing. So take a moment to reflect on this question first before you answer the rest of the questions, and never share more of yourself than whatever you feel comfortable with. Second, what are the needs of those in your niche? Now, some clients might find your openness humanizing and trust-building, but other clients might find it a bit distasteful, or it might reinforce unhealthy patterns for them. Here are just a few examples where therapist sharing can benefit the client. Clients might feel validated knowing that a therapist has a similar experience or background as they do. Clients feel released to let their guard down because they believe you're presenting your true self to therapy, and therefore maybe you genuinely care about them. Or clients might find your experience educational and apply similar learnings from your life to theirs. Now, this naturally leads us to our third question. What are the potential downsides of being vulnerable with your niche? Even if generally speaking, your target demographic finds it broadly helpful for you to share bits and pieces of yourself, there are still bound to be situations where it's not so helpful. So here are some examples of when therapist vulnerability can be unhelpful. Clients feel invalidated because their experience is different than yours. Clients feel pressure to align with you, even if that's not who they are, as a way to sort of fuse their identity with yours. Or clients might react by feeling an urge to take care of you. So it's really important to weigh these downsides against the benefits of sharing before doing so. And the fourth question, how might you navigate negative outcomes when they arise? Even with the best of planning, there's bound to be some things that don't go well, and it's really helpful to plan ahead so you know how to respond once they arise. If you're still not sure how you might navigate them, then it may be really helpful to consult with other therapists first before sharing, or even reconsidering altogether if it does make sense for you to put this part of yourself out there into the world or share with a specific client. As a specific example from my own practice, one of my primary specialties is working with individuals who identify as LGBT and Christian. Now, given the unfortunate harmful practices of conversion therapy among Christian therapists, it's super important that I make very clear that this is not the type of therapy that I offer for clients in the LGBT community. So in order to make that as clear as possible, throughout my website, I use language like LGBT affirming or LGBT safe space. I've even gone so far as writing a blog post where I share rather personally my journey of coming from a very conservative Christian background which held very harmful views towards the LGBT community and arriving to this open and affirming space. face. So let's talk through my thought process and disclosing this fairly personal information on my website. The benefit of this sharing is that it really builds trust with my target demographic. People who want a therapist who, on the one hand, shares their faith background, but who, on the other hand, isn't going to have any sort of toxic reaction to their gender or sexuality. Now, on the flip side, there are definitely negative reactions to the fact that I've posted this so openly. Usually, this comes from people who aren't in my target demographic. So, for example, if it was parents seeking conversion therapy for their child. Now, in some ways, this type of reaction isn't necessarily a bad thing because I'm very clear about what I do and don't do. Now, one negative outcome of being so open about this on my website is it does break trust with some key referral sources because I'm connected to local pastors who, before I was so open on my website about my stance on the whole LGBT thing, used to send me referrals of closeted Christians in their communities. And since I've been so open about this, I've mostly only been getting referrals from pastors of open and affirming churches. Now, this is a particularly big loss because those closeted Christians are at very high risk for mental health concerns because they don't have a safe space in their church community to be out and open. Even after weighing all these downsides, I've still opted to share about this on my website. And the reason being that it makes it crystal clear for potential clients in my niche to know exactly what I'm about and what I'm not about, and that they don't have to risk calling me and asking me questions and potentially getting triggered or traumatized if I'm not exactly what they're looking for. So as you can see, it's incredibly important to be thoughtful before you put yourself out there into the world. Hopefully these questions are helpful to you as you make that decision, and don't forget to always hold your client's interest as the highest priority. I also really strongly encourage you to have a community of therapists that you consult with when it comes to you sharing about yourself, whether publicly or in session with clients. They might be able to see potential risks that you might not have necessarily thought of on your own. If you answer these questions and you feel like you really want more freedom to be who you are than what makes sense for your target demographic, then it is okay to reflect on whether you're better suited for a different niche. Even if who you are isn't the best fit for this particular kind of client, there's a good chance there's a different kind of client out there that is best suited for you. Well, I hope you found this video helpful as you consider how open to be with your clients, both in session and out there publicly with the world. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. Today's video is brought to you by TherapyNotes.com. TherapyNotes helps with scheduling, notes, and billing so that you can spend more time with your clients and less time on back office paperwork. Click the link in the description of this video to get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment. Based on their target niche and Mama's having trouble.